Hi, I'm Gory. I'm the Innovation Lead here at the Academy. This video is all about how you do user testing. Once you've got several ideas that you know are desirable for users and you think might solve for your opportunity space, we immediately go and test them with the intended users. Why? Well, there's no point building something that people aren't going to use. Once you've evidentially tested the ideas, you'll know how users will use what you've built, in what context, and if they'll use it. Once you've worked that out, you can decide what's essential to build and what's nice to have. This process of discipline is very much in keeping with both design thinking and lean startup, which is only build what users will use and build the minimum so that you can test and learn very quickly. What does it take to do this well? It takes a lot of bravery. Actually, showing your ideas to users can be quite scary. It's hard when users say, "Nah, not for me," and you've spent a lot of time working up an idea. That's why lots of teams actually get external people or people who haven't been on the project to test ideas. It's hard to stay in neutral when it's your idea. If you do user testing right, you'll actually start to build your user base as you test. It's a really collaborative way to co-design a solution for users. So when you're testing, you might hear phrases like, "Can I get this now? Can I use this today?" If you hear words like that, you know you're onto a good thing. The users are with you, they're engaged, and they'll work with you to build the product. If you hear phrases like, "Yeah, I might use it," or "maybe for someone else," you know you've got to think again. Using a disciplined process of user testing is key to ensure that we don't bring our bias into play. When we stay in neutral, we really lean into the phrase, prototype like you're right and test like you're wrong. You're looking for the things that might not be right about your idea rather than sell anything to anyone. At this point, you're looking for evidence that says, how can I make this better and usable? What we want to do at this point is to fail ideas fast that are not going to be useful for our intended audience. It's hard, but it's so much better to find that out quickly than to take a lot of time building a product or a service that actually users don't want. Ready to test? Okay, here's what we do. First step, make sure your blueprints are really clear. That includes having a clear drawing or diagram of how you think the user might use what you've got. Why is that important? Well, often a person will put themselves in that drawing as opposed to reading a phrase of text. So good to have a really nice clear drawing where the user can see themselves with the idea. You'll get a much richer feeling from the user of, "Oh, no, I wouldn't use it like that, I would do this." When you've got that, you can then change that diagram for that user. Step 2 is to assemble a group of users and testers. You'll need about an hour with people who are going to test for you, and one tester can actually work with 2 users. So you can have a pair of people who are helping you look at an idea. Step 3 is have a testing guide to make sure you're on track. We use a pro forma to make sure that we stay on track and are asking the questions that we really need to. Here's how the session works. So first of all, set some context for your users. Say hello and welcome, of course, and then let them know that we're really looking for their opinion. There's no right or wrong answers in user testing. It's up to them about how they feel. This means that for your users, it's as valuable for them to tell us the things they don't like as the things they do like. Give them permission to give you negative feedback. It's super helpful at this stage. Tell them that the ideas are in their first flush, they're early ideas, so we can change them easily. That takes the pressure off, them having to be sort of nice to us about the idea. After you've done that, then as a group, bring the group of users together and first of all, show them the ideas with a quick 30-second description. So say we've got 4 ideas. We show each of the 4 ideas and we give a quick 30 seconds about what the idea is. Then we ask them to rank them 1 to 4 on a post-it individually. And when they've done that, we put their post-its on the wall anonymously, and it gives us a very quick read of which of the ideas are rising to the top. Very quickly, we might find that 1 or 2 of the ideas are already ahead of the pack. That's useful to us because then we prioritise those ideas to work on first. The next step is then to give individuals their top 1 or 2 ideas to work with. So then you take people in pairs and you as the tester use your discussion guide and spend about 15 minutes on each of the ideas you want to test. The discussion guide covers areas like what pieces of the idea do they like? How might they see themselves using it? With whom? In what context? What would make the idea even better? And what does it remind them of? We gather feedback in a disciplined framework of quadrants. The quadrants cover what they like, some constructive criticism, what they disliked, and questions that the experience raised. Often we will also record the session just to make sure we're catching it as they say it and without bias. When we do really high fidelity user testing, we're actually back into empathy. So again, remember those skills when you did the empathy work. When a user says something like, I like it, you ask, what do you like? Why do you like it? What pieces specifically? Can you say more about that? To make sure that you're not assuming that what they like you understand. So deep into empathy to get some high quality input. After the session is finished, you thank the users, and then you work with a partner with each blueprint. So look at all the feedback you've received on each idea, refine the blueprint, and then you've done your user testing on that particular idea. About 5 users per idea will give you a good sense of, is this idea really worth it? And does it lead to improvement? And that's how we do user testing with discipline to get high fidelity outcomes. Good luck taking the ideas forward with users into work that you can actually use to get your school improvement journey underway and progressing. See you next time in the Academy.